really not a question, like just amazement of what I'm hearing here today, and I don't know how to resolve the problem. I know I'm a new member, by the way, for the people here giving us testimony, but you know, we're experiencing tremendous waste in our government, fraud and abuse today. And to me, this is a prime example of what we need to do as a small business committee to alleviate this, and not a year down the road. We need to do it ASAP. So, you know, I appreciate your testimony today, and Mr. Harrison, appreciate your testimony, but I think you're the one we're all looking at today to hear what you're going to do immediately before we take some type of drastic vote up here to alleviate or reduce or seriously curtail this program. So I just ask you, I mean, what's your take on what I've heard here? And you really don't have to say anything else. I'm astounded. I feel very much like I felt the other day when I heard these tremendous bonuses being given out to the AIG people. So, Mr. Harrison, what can you say to give me a little comfort today that you're doing whatever you possibly can to alleviate this fraud and misuse and abuse of taxpayers' dollars out there? You know, the small businesses make up 70 to 80% of our jobs out there. Sometimes we get focused on the huge corporate projects out there, and we lose focus on our small business. But SBA could be the stabilizing factor for our economy. And for me to hear this, I'm floored. I'm astonished. I'm very disappointed. It's another I guess burden that we have to see as taxpayers out there that we got to put a stop to. So, Mr. Harrison, I'd like to hear what you feel as a result of letting me, as a new member of this Congress and this committee, how can you appease and satisfy me that we should today take a vote to terminate this program right away?
Well, as I indicated before, we take this matter very seriously.
You should. I hope you should.
Yeah, and we don't disagree with the majority of the findings of the GAO report. We recognize that there is a lack of a real risk management structure around that program, but we also recognize that it's something that we can't put all the fixes in place overnight, but we know it's necessary that we take aggressive steps and that we do it in an urgent manner to put the proper risk management framework in place.
But let me interrupt you and just ask you, I mean, this has been going on for a year at least, I can see. I'm not hearing from these gentlemen over here that you've taken any drastic action to curtail this abuse and this waste.
Well, we've actually taken some steps. We've taken some preliminary steps, but we don't want to rush into trying to fix a problem and actually waste more resources and more time not appropriately fixing the problem.
The gentleman yield.
Yes, I will.
Wasn't it recommended that on-site visits is a quite effective tool for deterrence? How many visits have you conducted in fiscal year 2009?
I think
out of 10,000 firms, how many?
I think the number that was stated earlier was 7, and that's the number. That's the number that was reported to me also.
7.
And that is one of the courses of actions that are being planned. That we will be conducting more on-site visits.
Thank you for yielding.
Are you attempting in any form or fashion or looking at criminal prosecution or even civil fraud against these agencies who are taking the money?
Well, in the cases that we're reviewing where we find that that seems to be an appropriate step, we are following the proper course. We are referring those cases to our Office of Inspector General.
Have you any number to give us today of people you've done that to?
Actually, I think we have I'm not certain how many, in fact, we've referred to the Office of the Inspector General. I think all of the cases have been reviewed by the Office of Inspector General. I know we've referred 7 for a potential suspension and debarment through the normal suspension and debarment process.
Congressman, I think they got declinations on all 10 from U.S. attorneys, so they're not going to get prosecutions. They're looking at civil, and then of course, only 4 of these so far have been decerted by SBA.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
And I think of 3 we found to be eligible.
I'll close with the last few moments I have here, and say this: something needs to be done. It needs to be done right away. This is another case of waste, of fraud, and abuse that needs to be terminated ASAP. And Madam Chairman, I'll yield back the remainder of my time, but I'm very, very concerned about what I've heard here in the last 30